Hello and welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. I'm Theo, and today we're going to look at the Icons of the Realms, Arcane Fury, and Divine Might miniature set. This is if you want to show your lingering spell effects on your battle maps. What we're going to do is open this up, look at each one individually and talk about the spell itself, then show you what it looks like on a battle map. For me, it's going to be a Dwarven Forge battle map, and then we'll wrap things up. One thing to note as we start to look at these, this does not come as a random set. You get the whole lot of them when you order the box. Arcane Gate. This is a 6th level conjuration spell that's used by sorcerers, wizards, and warlocks. It creates a portal that'll stay open for 10 minutes. You can create one portal within 10 feet of you, and then the other one within 500 feet. So there's only one miniature in this set, which makes sense because most of the battle maps that we're going to use are not going to be 500 feet in length. So you'll create the entrance here, and then your characters might go through to escape a situation or to jump into a situation. So you probably only need one gate. You can also rotate the gate as a bonus action. Tensor's Floating Disc. This is a 1st level conjuration spell used by wizards. I think this spell is a little bit misunderstood, so let's get it straight. The spell creates a circular, horizontal plane of force, 3 feet in diameter and 1 inch thick. It floats 3 feet above the ground in an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within range. The disc remains for the duration, which is an hour, and it can hold up to 500 pounds. Now the disc is immobile while you're within 20 feet of it. If you move more than 20 feet away from it, it'll follow you, but it'll stay 20 feet away from you. So you can't ride it like a skateboard or a hoverboard. You can use it to carry things more like a cart. It can move across uneven terrain, up and down stairs, slopes, and the like, but it can't cross an elevation change of more than 10 feet or more. So you can use it to pull something. You can put another person on it. You can put a body on it and carry it like a gurney. You can carry your loot. You can carry whatever you like as long as it fits on that 3-foot disc and isn't more than 500 pounds. It can float over water, lava, swamps, and the like. Bigby's Hand. This is a 5th level evocation spell used by wizards. It creates a large, shimmering, translucent hand that appears within range. It lasts for a minute and requires concentration. You can move it, and it is an object that can be attacked on the battlefield. It has an AC of 20 and hit points equal to your maximum hit points. And you can use a bonus action to move it and have it do a particular skill. So the first skill is making it Bigby's Clenched Fist. And this can be used to attack someone within 5 feet of it. Next, you can make Bigby's Forceful Hand, which can push a creature within 5 feet of it. There's a contested athletics check to see if it'll push the creature, and it can push 5 feet plus the number of feet equal to 5 times your spellcasting modifier. You can also do Bigby's Interposing Hand, which will get between you and a creature you choose, and it'll stay between you as y'all move, but giving you half cover. The target can't move through the hand space unless its strength is higher than the hand strength, and the hand strength is 26. This is great for keeping scary things at a distance. Finally, you've got Bigby's Grasping Hand, which will attempt to grapple creatures. If it successfully grapples someone, you can use a bonus action to have it squeeze, causing bludgeoning damage. Cloud of Daggers. This is a 2nd level conjuration spell used by bards, sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. It fills the air with spinning daggers in a 5-foot cube, centered on a point you choose within range. It lasts a minute and requires concentration. A creature takes 44 slashing damage when it enters the spell's area for the first time on its turn or starts its turn there, and the damage will increase at higher levels. Mage Hand. This is a cantrip conjuration spell used by bards, sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. You create a spectral, floating hand that appears at a point that you choose within range. The hand lasts for a minute or until you dismiss it with an action. You can use your action to control the hand. You can use it to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door or container, store or retrieve an item from an open container, or pour the contents out of a vial, whatever you like. You can move the hand up to 30 feet each time you use it. The hand can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds. Dancing Lights. This is a cantrip evocation spell used by bards, sorcerers, and wizards. You create up to 4 torch-sized lights within range, making them appear as torches or lanterns or just glowing orbs that hover in the air for the duration. They last a minute and require concentration. You can also take those lights and have them form one glowing, vaguely humanoid form of medium size, which is what they've done with the miniature here. Whichever form you choose, each light sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius. You can move the lights with a bonus action, but they need to stay within 20 feet of one another. Elemental Weapon. This is a 3rd level transmutation spell used by paladins. This spell allows you to take a non-magical weapon that you touch to make it become a magical weapon. You can choose one of the following damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. In this miniature set, as you're looking at here, you can choose between an acid bow, a cold axe, a fire sword, or a lightning hammer. The weapon has a +1 bonus to attack rolls and deals an extra 1d4 damage of the chosen type when it hits. The modifier on the damage increase when you cast a spell at higher levels. Now, I don't really know why these miniatures are in this set, because it doesn't create a unique floating weapon like a spiritual weapon on the battlefield. But you can use these miniatures as spiritual weapons, since the spiritual weapon, as we said, can take any form you like. You could also potentially have these next to your character if they're holding a magical weapon, just to remind you that they have it. Unseen Servant. This is a 1st level conjuration spell used by bards, warlocks, and wizards. The spell creates an invisible, mindless, shapeless form that performs simple tasks at your command until the spell ends. It lasts for an hour. The servant will spring into existence in an unoccupied space on the ground within range. It has an AC of 10, 1 hit point, and a strength of 2, and it can't attack. As a bonus action, you can mentally command the servant to move up to 15 feet and interact with an object, so it can perform simple tasks that a human servant could, such as fetching things, cleaning, mending, folding clothes, lighting fires, serving food, and pouring wine. Once you give the command, the servant will perform the task to the best of its ability until it completes the task. Then it waits for your next command. Grasping Vine. This is a 4th level conjuration spell used by druids and rangers. You create a vine that sprouts from the ground in an unoccupied space of your choice within range. You can direct the vine to lash out at a creature within 30 feet of it that you can see. The creature has to succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be pulled 20 feet directly toward the vine. The vine will stay there, and you can use a bonus action on future turns to lash out at that creature or any other creature within range. Phantom Steed. This is a 3rd level illusion spell used by wizards. You create a large, quasi-real horse-like creature that appears on the ground within range. It's equipped with a saddle, a bit, and a bridle. Any of the equipment created by the spell will vanish in a puff of smoke if it's carried more than 10 feet away from the steed. For the duration, which is an hour, you or a creature you choose can ride the steed. The creature uses the statistics of a riding horse, except it has a speed of 100 feet and can travel 10 miles in an hour, or 13 miles at a fast pace. When the spell ends, the steed gradually fades, giving the rider a minute to dismount instead of just being unceremoniously tipped on its butt. The spell ends if you use an action to dismiss it, or if the steed takes any damage. Spiritual Weapon. This is a 2nd level evocation spell used by clerics. First, we have the Warhammer. You create a floating spectral weapon within range that lasts for the duration, or until you cast the spell again. When you cast the spell, you can make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon. Let's take a look at the other one. This is the Mace. When you hit with your spiritual weapon, the target takes force damage equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. As a bonus action on your turn, you can move the weapon up to 20 feet and repeat the attack against a creature within 5 feet of it, and the weapon can take whatever form you choose. Here you can see the first half of the spell effects in action. You see the Arcane Gate on the left. Notice that Bigby's hand is much larger than the Mage Hand, which you see on the right side of your screen. There's the very long Grasping Vine and the Unseen Servant hiding back in the corner. Finally, you have Tensor's disc showing up here with a were-rat on top of it. It all looks pretty good on the battle map to me. It gives a nice colorful appearance. And here's the second half of the arcane effects. Here you can see 2 of the Bigby's hands, some of the spiritual weapons and the elemental weapons ready to attack the troll. On the left side of the screen, you can see the dancing lights coming into view, and there is the Phantom Steed ready to get us out of here in a moment's notice. So these are pretty incredible, aren't they? They're colorful, they're large, they're add just a lot of personality to your battlefield. I love the Bigby's hands, especially how colorful they are and how imposing and huge they are. The little cloud of daggers, if you look really closely at it from overhead, you can see that there's actually a load of little transparent blue daggers that make up the whirlwind, which is great. I'm still a little confused about the elemental weapons. I guess you can find some use for them. You could always homebrew a spell that would, allow these to exist as their own entity in the battlefield, even though that doesn't really exist in the main rules. Also notice that the elemental hammer there is almost identical to the spiritual hammer weapon, and they're even the same color. But you can use these as you like in replace of a spiritual weapon if you want to. The Tensor's Disc is pretty neat. It's functional, even though you can't really see much of it. And one thing I've thought about this is, these are really useful if you have a wizard or a spellcaster regular in your group, but these may encourage people to use spells that they don't normally use. If you have the many for the Phantom Steed, maybe you'll want to pull that spell out more often just to get this thing on the battlefield, or the Arcane Gate, or even Bigby's Hand. And this is kind of a nice incentive to explore some new things. So I think it adds a lot to your set. It's about $40 retail, asking price. So if that seems okay to you and you have good use of it because you have some mages in your party, maybe this is a nice present for your DM or for one of your wizard, sorcerer, warlock players or cleric players for the spiritual weapons. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.